Well, you can see the Solong coming down from the northwest on a course of southeast course, and the second vessel, the Stena Immaculate, at anchor, seemingly at anchor, at least stationary. Um, and the container ship didn't alter course 1 inch until it struck the chemical tanker. So to me, the chance of it being an engine failure or steering failure are very small. There's actions you could do if either of those happen. They don't appear to have done anything. So it means that there wasn't sufficient observance of the collision regulations on the bridge. The vessel, so long, has to give way, to starboard in this case, and did nothing, just crashed straight into the Stena Immaculate. So I think there's an issue about the lookout and the watchkeeping of the Solong. With the details that are available at the moment, it looks like that the Solong was not keeping a proper watch and had failed to recognize the danger of approaching the Stena Immaculate, which appears to be at anchor. The Stena Immaculate can't get out of the way. It has a duty to get out of the way if it's underway, but it's not underway if it's at anchor. So it just can't get out of the way. And it appears that the Solong just ran straight into it. Well, if they lost engine power, for example, they would still have steering, so they should be able to go hard over and drop an anchor. If they lost the engines, if they lost the steering, they can go full astern on the engines. And there's no indication from the AS traffic that they did either. So it would just appear to be human error at this point.
Solong has collided with tanker Stena Immaculate in the outer anchorage. Both vessels are abandoning. Vessels who have firefighting equipment or who can assist with search and rescue, contact Humber Coast Guard on channel 16.
Obviously, the North Sea has a lot. Hopefully, the rigs will release their standby vessels to go put that far out. The longer term implications are for the environment, of course. If it was a laden tanker and thousands of tons of fuel get into the environment, a lot of it is going to burn off, but some will go into the water column, some will escape and emulsifying and potentially come ashore as oil emulsion, and that has a devastating effect on wildlife. But if the oil that's not burnt off by the fire will stay there, there's a very short, limited window which you can spray that oil and to make it disperse and go into the water column, and for microbes to eat up the oil naturally over time. That's quite a short window, and the Coast Guard have the right aircraft to do that spraying. But if the window's gone, what happens then is the oil on the surface becomes emulsified. It expands by about 10 times in volume. It'll form tar balls, which will sink to the bottom and come ashore. And this sludge will eventually come up somewhere on some beach or some cliff face or whatever. Obviously, the beach is probably your best option because it's easier to clean. If it comes into mud flats or marshlands, that is ecologically disastrous.
An HM Coast Guard spokesperson said, HM Coast Guard is currently coordinating the emergency response to reports of a collision between a tanker and a cargo vessel off the coast of East Yorkshire. The alarm was raised at 9:48 a.m. A Coast Guard rescue helicopter from the Humberside was called, alongside lifeboats from Skegness, Bridlington, Maplethorpe and Cleethorpes, an HM Coast Guard fixed-wing aircraft and nearby vessels with firefighting capability. The incident remains ongoing. Navy Lookout's X account said, search and rescue helicopters attending oil tanker MV Stena Immaculate on fire after being struck by container ship MV Solong while at anchor off the Humber estuary this morning.
Vessel Stena Immaculate is carrying Jet A1 fuel, which is on fire and in the water. Request vessels remain at a safe distance. Humber Coast Guard coordinating, date time group 101000 UTC. This is Humber Coast Guard.